Okay, so regarding the surgical anatomy of the gallbladder, let's move to this diagram. On your screen, you can see the inferior border of the liver. This is the right lobe of the liver, and this is the left lobe of the liver. Okay, so just close to the junction of the right and the left lobes, there is the posterior inferior surface of the liver, and to the posterior inferior surface of the liver, the gallbladder is being attached. The gallbladder is, there is a duct which is coming all the way from the gallbladder, which is called as a cystic duct. There are some other ducts which are actually coming from the liver, and these are actually, you can appreciate the greenish color is indication of the bile, and this is the right hepatic duct, and this is the left hepatic duct. Okay, this right and the left hepatic duct combine together and they form a duct which is a common hepatic duct. It goes all the way down here, and this cystic duct which is coming from the gallbladder, it goes all the way and join this the common hepatic duct and form a CBD, which is a common bile duct. This biliary anatomy is so important to understand, because the stones all together, they are formed within the lumen of the gallbladder, but they can slip down all the way. They come to the cystic duct, or they can come to the hepatic or common bile duct, and they can actually cause a biliary obstruction and the cholelithiasis. Okay, so the cholelithiasis would be converted into a cholelithiasis. Now, important thing to know here is this Callot triangle, which is very much important, because whenever you are doing open cholecystectomy or laparoscopic cholecystectomy, it's very important to find this Callot triangle, because the cystic artery is located inside this triangle, and you have to ligate the cystic artery in a cystic duct. Okay, so you can see here, this is the part of the Callot triangle. Okay, so the upper surface of this triangle is actually formed by this inferior lobe of the liver, and the medial part of the triangle is formed by the medial border of the gallbladder in a cystic duct, and the lateral border is actually formed by the medial border is actually formed by the common hepatic, and the lateral border is formed by the cystic and the gallbladder. So just I'm going to repeat it again for you guys. The three important borders for the Callot triangle is the superiorly would be the inferior surface or the inferior lobe of the liver. Laterally would be this is the lateral edge, okay? So the laterally, there would be some part, the inferior and the medial part of the gallbladder, along with the cystic duct. And if we talk about the medial border, so the medial border would be formed by this right and the left hepatic, they combine together and they form a common hepatic duct. So the lateral border, the medial border is formed by the common hepatic, and the lateral border is formed by the cystic duct and a gallbladder, and the upper part is formed by or you can say the roof is actually formed by the inferior surface of the liver. Now, you can see here in the center that this is the hepatic artery, and this is the hepatic artery, and this is actually the cystic artery. Okay, so all the way, because the cystic artery is a branch of the proper hepatic artery, right hepatic artery. So this is actually the right hepatic artery, and this is the left hepatic artery, and they combine together and they form a common hepatic artery. Okay. So this actually, the right hepatic artery is giving a branch, which is the cystic artery, and it's going all the way and it's supplying the gallbladder. So if you want to remove this gallbladder, then you have to cut off the supply, okay? So the supply is a cystic artery, and you have to ligate it, whether you are performing the open cholecystectomy or you're doing a laparoscopic cholecystectomy. So you can see here the right hepatic artery. You can see the left hepatic artery, And this is the common hepatic artery, which is formed by the junction of the right hepatic and the left hepatic artery. This is left choledochal artery, which is actually supplying this common bile duct, okay? And again, this is the common hepatic. Then you have the retroduodenal arteries, and they are going all the way behind the duodenum, and they're supplying the lower, or you can say the retroduodenal part of the common bile duct. Then you have the gastroduodenal artery here, all the way, which is retroduodenal, okay? That means this is the first part of the duodenum, this is the second part of the duodenum, the third part of the duodenum, and this is the fourth part of the duodenum. So it's just behind the first part of the duodenum. So here we go. This is the cystic artery, and it's a branch, you can see here, it's a branch of the right hepatic artery, and it's located in this Cowlitz triangle. And there's some lymph nodes as well, which are located in this triangle, which are actually draining the gallbladder. And this is the right choledochal artery. So this was about the surgical anatomy, and the important thing is you should know about the confluences, and you should know about the biliary channels. And if you talk about the physiology of the gallbladder, or if you a little bit about the functional anatomy of the gallbladder, you should keep in mind that the bile is actually very much important for the emulsification of the fats. Okay, so there are some enzymes which are responsible for the digestion of the proteins, and there are enzymes responsible for the digestion of the carbohydrates. So in a similar way, there is a bile is very much important for the emulsification of the fats and their digestion later on. So this bile is actually formed in the liver, and it goes all the way to the gallbladder, and it is stored in the gallbladder. And if we talk about the daily storage capacity of the gallbladder, so it is about 25 to 30 ml per day. So that means 25 to 30 cc or 30 milliliter of the bile is being stored in the gallbladder. Now the physiology is like in fasting states, okay? There is the contraction of the gallbladder, and the bile all the way it comes down to the common hepatic, and then goes to the common bile duct, and it goes to the part of the duodenum, so that the emulsification of the fats should be done. But in eating stage or well-eaten stage, this gallbladder is distended with the bile, and because a lot of the bile is being stored in the gallbladder, so because of that, the gallbladder is stored. So whenever in a fasting state, in a fasting state, the gallbladder is contracted, and you can actually see in the whole of the dilatations in the diameter and everything. Plus, the bile is formed in the liver, but it goes all the way and stored in the gallbladder, and there is a process of the enterohepatic circulation. So what does that mean? The enterohepatic circulation is actually for the reabsorption of the bile, and some bile salts like the cholic acid and deoxycholic acid and chenodeoxycholic acid. So these are important bile. They combine together and they conjugate the bile, and that's a whole of the process for the emulsification and the micelle formation. So the important thing to know is the bilirubin is actually the breakdown products of the pigments, okay, especially the iron. So what happens is this bilirubin gets conjugated with some of these salts, bile salts, which are the cholic acid and chenodeoxycholic acid, and they conjugated bilirubin and unconjugated bilirubin. So whenever it comes to the liver, it becomes a conjugated bilirubin because the bile salts are being added into it, and these bile salts are again reabsorbed, and this is called as enterohepatic circulation. There can be, if you know the normal anatomy, okay, so you can have a little bit of the idea about the different anomalies, because when you're operating, there can be some, a small surgical anatomy or small surgical difference can make a lot of operating difference, okay? So you should know that was actually the Cowlitz triangle, okay? So there was, again, these simple boundaries, the inferior surface of the liver, the lateral border is formed by the cystic duct, and in the medial part of the gallbladder, and the medial border is actually formed by the common hepatic. And why? What is the significance of the callus triangle? The significance is the cystic artery is being located in this callus triangle. And why you need to identify the cystic artery? Because you have to ligate the cystic artery when you're separating and when you're removing the gallbladder. If you do not do it, obviously the gallbladder supply wouldn't be, cut off. Plus, there would be a lot of bleeding if you do not ligate this. There would be a lot of bleeding if you have removed the gallbladder afterwards. Okay, so let's talk about the anomalies in the circulation. One, it can be you watched in the previous diagram that this was actually the right hepatic artery and there was the left hepatic artery. So what happens is like this right hepatic artery and the left hepatic, they combine together and they form a common hepatic. So this common hepatic artery, as you can see, this was going all the way away from this common hepatic duct. But here, it's coming close to the common hepatic duct, it's crossing the common hepatic duct, and it is actually inside this callus triangle. So this is the abnormality, because this common hepatic, which is called as a caterpillar turn, okay? So it's actually taking a caterpillar turn here, and it's within the callus triangle. So the operating surgeon would be encountering two arteries in the callus triangle as compared to a normal one artery, and he would be confused between the hepatic and the cystic artery, and plus he may ligate this hepatic artery instead of cystic artery, and because of that this artery is actually supplying to the liver, so it can damage or it can lead to the tissue ischemia of the liver. So that is the significance that you should know about the anomalies and a little bit morphological differences which you can encounter in your surgery. Now, if you see this other diagram again, this was here the common hepatic was taking a U-turn, but here the right hepatic artery just close to its beginning and its origin, it's actually taking a caterpillar turn inside this. So here it was a common hepatic and a cystic, but here it's right hepatic and a cystic. And it's this cystic artery all the way is coming from this right hepatic from this caterpillar turn. Okay, so you can, instead of ligating cystic, you can ligate this right hepatic, and it can lead to the decreased tissue perfusion and some of the functional distortion to the liver. So that's why it's important to know the important structures in the callus triangle, the boundaries of the callus triangle, and the anomalies you can encounter. There can be a lot of other anomalies related to the cystic duct. There can be, the high insertion of the cystic duct, a low insertion of the cystic duct, and a medial insertion of a cystic duct. There can be short cystic duct. We'll be discussing these anomalies in another lecture, but today you should be more focused for the arterial and the physiological anomalies, and obviously their relationship with the duodenum. So this common bile duct is actually divided into four parts, okay? So one part is a supraduodenal, the second part is retroduodenal, the third part is intraduodenal, and the fourth part is infraduodenal, okay? So you can see here, this was the duodenum, this was the first part of the duodenum. So this is the common bile duct, okay? Because this cystic and this common hepatic, they're combining together and they're forming the common bile duct. So the part just above the duodenum is the supraduodenal, and this is the part which is behind the first part of the duodenum, and this is the retroduodenal part of the common bile duct, and this is the intraduodenal. That means it's actually passing within the C-shaped curve of the duodenum, and this is the intraduodenal, and just behind the fourth part of the duodenum there would be infraduodenal part of the common bile duct.